Farg'ona davlat universiteti talabalari va magistrantlari diqqatiga. Ilm yo'lini tanlagan aziz yoshlar, endilikda siz yillik o'quv rejasida belgilangan dars mashg'ulotlari va mavzularni nafaqat oliy ta'lim muassasasiga kelgan holda, balki maxsus platformaga joylanuvchi video darslar orqali ham o'zlashtirishingiz, bilimlaringizni mustahkamlashingiz mumkin. Bu borada biz sizga yaqindan ko'mak beramiz. Ya'ni oliygoh professor o'qituvchilar tomonidan olib borilgan dars jarayonlari tasvirga olingan holda taqdim etiladi. Biz sizning mukammal va sifatli ta'lim olishingiz tarafdorimiz. Siz istagan paytingiz va joyingizda ushbu darslarni tomosha qilishingiz va mavzularni mukammal tarzda o'zlashtirishingiz mumkin. Farg'ona davlat universiteti rahbariyati talabalar uchun qulay va mukammal ta'lim sharoitlarini yaratib berishga hamisha tayyor.
Dear colleagues, allow me introduce myself. I am a professor of a department of the Russian philology, Fergana State University, Muhiddinov Anvar Gafurovich. I will give a lecture on modern foreign literature of the 21st century. Actual problems of foreign literature of the beginning of the 21st century. The schedule of our lecture includes these questions. The main trends of the modern literary process in the foreign countries. 2. The crisis of culture at the end of the 20th century. 3. General patterns of the modern literary process. After the Second World War, the disintegration of the values of the world was clearly indicated. Which countries at the beginning of the 21st century? Moreover, in this post-revolutionary period, after the god of the old world, the gods of the new world set off. The boundary of a period is determined not only by the World War, but also by the completion of the revolutionary cycle in the 15th, the establishment of communist regimes in the countries of the Eastern Europe, the victory of the national liberation movement in the Third World. The development of literature in the 70s, 90s, it is difficult to characterize that basis on any rules of regularities. The lack of commonality of method and stylistic principles, the all-determining dominant of creative individuality create a multifaceted and internally contradictory image of modern culture. Post-structuralism is a kind of self-criticism of structuralism, since its complex of scientific ideas is already based on relativism and skepticism. and expresses epistemological doubt. Post-structuralism is characterized by rejection of the concept of integrity and addition to everything that generates instability, contradictions, fragmentation, randomness. Post-structuralist view developed in the works of the 70s and 80s. Jacques Derrida, Foucault, Barthes, Kristeva, Deleuze, and Girard. The text in postmodern literature is intertextual, parodic. The all-encompassing irony expresses the game that the writer indulges in. It extends to the end results as well as on the text itself. Postmodern literature is the result of self-reflection, a process of creation that never ends, is being replaced by the science of writing, the interpretation of text. The most adequate embodiment of postmodernism is not actually literature, but literary criticism, the deconstructivism of the Jacques Derrida, critical studies in literary seminars in France and the USA, inspired by the pathos of total relativism, which reduces the text to a multitude of subjective meanings, a multitude of contradictory possibilities, and deconstruction is painted in the tones of the ironically presented game. The English postmodern novel, with its characteristic retrospective narration, the transfer of the time of action to Victorian England, the interviewing of the plans, the two-way plot action, the shifted interest towards historiography is currently of great research interest. One of the famous English writers is Antonia Susan Byatt. She is author of the 24 books, holder of many honorary degrees from various universities, and winner of numerous literary awards and prizes. Campbell in Byatt and the heliotropic images draws attention to the interviewing of realism and self-consciousness, self-reflexivity in Byatt's prose. David John Lodge, English writer and literary critic, 1935. Awards: Hawthorne Prize, Costa Moral Award, Costa Book of the Year. The work of the Lodge is analyzed in the book by Morris. The geological novels of Malcolm Bradbury and David Lodge, 1989. Whereas the author attempts to explore the prose of Bradbury and Lodge from the point of view of the Bakhtinian theory of geology. David John Lodge, English writer and literary critic, 1935. Awards: Hawthorne Prize, Costa Novel Award, Costa Book of the Year. The work of the Lodge is analyzed in the book by Morris. The geological novels of Malcolm Bradbury and David Lodge, 1989. Whereas the author attempts to explore the prose of Bradbury and Lodge from the point of view of the Bakhtinian theory of geologicity. In his novels, Lodge often makes fun of academia, in particular the humanities. Small World, an academic romance, 1984, second part of the University trilogy. Good Work, 1988, the third part of the University trilogy. In 1988, Good Job won the annual Sunday Express Book Prize and was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. The television version of the novel won the Queen's Award for Best Drama Series in 1989. The Remunich campus is an incredibly fun place. And now, at the new stage in his history, he is forced to face to the world, sending one of his most talented and charming representatives, Robin Penrose, to the local plant. Ray Douglas Bradbury, August 22, 1920, Wake Again, USA, American writer known for the dystopia 451 degrees Fahrenheit, a cycle of stories, the Martinian Chronicles, and partially autobiographical story Dandelion Wine. In most of Bradbury's major works, the basic conflict of human existence is touched upon. Between the yes of self-affirmation in creativity and the no of self-allegiance in mechanical rigidity. This topic is also raised in the novel 405 degrees Fahrenheit, which shows a consumer society. Irving Stone, famous is writer, American writer, playwright and screenwriter, one of the founders of the biographical novel. In total, Irving Stone wrote 25 novels about the lives of great people. 1917, There Was Light Here, Berkeley University Autobiography, 1968, documentary book about the University of Berkeley. 1971, Passions of the Mind, about the life of Sigmund Freud. 1980, Origin, about the life of Charles Darwin. Anglo-American literature is currently at the stage of rapid development. Our lecture was devoted to reviewing only the main milestones in the development of the literary process of our time. Thank you for attention.